Hi everyone, it's time for a quick update. It's been well overdue, and my plan was to get one done when the wall behind me is finished, but we are due some colder nights this week, so I thought I'd do it now, just while it is a bit of a mess, but at least all the plants are looking healthy at the minute, so I thought I'd do a quick review. And the end of October, still been really mild here, so we've been up to 30 degrees in the days, and probably lows up to now about 14-15 degrees at night, so it's been really good actually. It's supposed to drop next week to maybe 9-8 degrees at night, which I know I still can't complain really for some of you, but obviously we have different sort of plants here, so yeah, I'll get started. You can see quite a bit has changed. I've not been doing regular updates. We've had so much on. We've had a little baby boy as well, so we've just been really busy. So yeah, I'll have a walk around with you and just point out a couple of bits and show you what's going on really, and then we can sort of compare it next year how it comes along, because everything really has been done this year. So apart from a couple of bits which were put in the end of last summer, everything's gone in this spring, so it's doing really well, to say that really. So I'll turn you around and I'll show you around a little bit. So I've got the greenhouse up over there, got a couple of bits inside there, so I will go and show you what I've got going on in there and what the plans are at the end. But first we'll just have a walk around. Carport's all done, it's nice. Not really done anything that side apart from these two Pritchardias, I think they're called, which I will have to protect because they don't like the cold wind which comes from that direction. So I'll do something with those, probably just put up some wind protection, because I think they'll be able to handle the cold that we get, hopefully this year. I mean, we've not had a frost in the last sort of 10 years, so I don't really expect one this year. So, but they should be able to take the temperatures. It's just the cold wind that they don't like. This bit's not really finished. I need obviously more gravel, but I'm not going to order. I'm not really plan to do much until next spring, apart from get the back prepared for usable space. I want to get it all concreted, ready for tiling. The plan was to do pressed concrete, but I've changed my mind now. I'm just going to concrete it, get a nice base down, and then I'll slowly tile it with some nice natural stone or something like that. So that's the plan there. As you can see, I've put some plants in that hopefully can get established. We've got some heatherchiums there, a couple of palms, some Canna Tropical. That Bootia it's done really well this year because I wasn't sure about it. You'll see cannas everywhere basically, and I've started collecting heliconias as well, which aren't really heard of over here, to be honest. I found one in a garden centre and they didn't even know what it was, and since then the owner of the garden centre's planted them in their garden, seeing that they did so well here, and they ordered some more, which I've got another variety which is like a more orange version, which I've got also scattered around. But these had one, I bought them with one stem coming through that had probably been a year old. There was nothing going on. They'd had them indoors, they weren't doing very well, and they just really took off. They're looking a bit untied at the moment, but like I say, this year is just to get things in. I'm not really bothered about cleaning them, maintaining them. It's just to get them rooted, hopefully looking nice for next year. So that's probably my first palm that I got, the Ochontophenics Alexander, and I did move it once. I think I might have moved it twice, which was a really bad mistake, but I didn't know anything about palms at the time, so I actually planted it twice. And this is where it's been now since the end of last summer, and it's just started to do pretty well really. It's looking nice now, and it's growing really quick now as well, which is nice. I've got my Roystonia, which also has done really well because it was looking very hit and miss in springtime, but that's growing amazing. I mean, I marked that, let me see if I can show you. Yeah, this is a little bit sad, but just to see when things stop growing really. I marked that literally 2 days ago. So the black mark is where the green mark was, and that's how much it's growing in 2 days at the end of October, so that's not bad. So I've got a couple more bits and bobs there. Nice Brahea armata. I've had a couple of casualties, but you can see, I mean, if you compare from my last video, we've got this path down through. Now everything's looking well. The Bismarckias, both the one I thought was definitely dead, they had no leaves at all. So all this has come through in the last sort of 6 weeks. They're all looking pretty good. Got some nice bits and bobs along the carport, some flowers coming through. Got my papaya tree, which is newly planted and just absolutely took off. I've got some fruit growing on there as well. Not sure how that's going to take to the winter, but it's doing nice at the minute. Bits and bobs. I made the big mistake of putting lots of smaller palms in, different types, and not naming them. So obviously a lot of them I can sort of tell apart, but I think these two are Christmas palms. I've got 2 queen palms there. What else is there? I'm not sure exactly, can't remember what this one is, or those. I think I can probably find out because I had pictures of them in the pots when I planted them, so it's just finding those pictures. It should be okay. I had a little one die just in there. This is a cherry palm, which is doing really well actually. It was tiny when I put it in, so hopefully that'll survive the winter. I've got a red Latania palm there. I've got my lotus banana, which has done really well. That was only planted, I don't know, 2 months ago, and that obviously it died back to nothing, so that's done well. So you can see the dog kennel, that wasn't even started from my last video. It's just about finished. Got a couple more roof tiles to put on, and it needs monocapping and just tidying up, and then tiling. The actual inside is tiled in there, but it needs a good clean. Tried to do it similar sort of style to the house really. And then the wall, which was an absolute nightmare. I had a couple of quotes from builders and it was quite expensive, and that was just me doing it a cheap way, building the wall myself and having it filled in with the cheap metal inserts that you can buy from any sort of hardware shop. And it seemed quite expensive, so I planted it all myself with a bit of help from a labourer, and it's cost me just as much as it would have cost for the builder to do it, and more on top for materials, which I'm just waiting for the metal, not sure what to call them, but they're sort of panels that will go in to give it privacy but let the light through. And that's cost quite a bit, and it's ended up costing me a lot more than what it would have done if I'd have got someone to do it. But the difference is obviously the way I've done it myself is a lot better than I would have had it done in the end, so I'll be glad when that's finished, hopefully this weekend. It's very close now. My foxtails, had a bit of issue with those, but they seem to be doing really well now again. And the grass is done. The dogs, I do try and keep them off it. In fact, they shouldn't be on it now, but they don't listen. They're only puppies still, so we're still training them. They just take stuff on it and rip it to shreds and make a right mess of it, but I suppose that's what puppies do. So yeah, that wasn't done last time, so that's looking really nice now and it's tidy. This border's come on pretty well. That's just finished flowering. I've got my Liverstonia chilensis in there, Hydrophore, I'm not sure how you pronounce that one. And my Rekka palm, which is looking really healthy. That's been in since last summer as well, so that's doing really well now. Some lovely flowers in here. Some fox palms that have not been in that long, so they're not looking great at the minute, but should be okay for next year. A couple more that side. Some more heliconias. That's the orange variant. So I've not had these in long, so they've took a bit of a battering from the sun, but they're established now. They're rooted and growing really quick. But yeah, you can see everything's come on really well. Got a couple of bottle palms. These I really like. These are cannas that they're called the Bird of Paradise canna. They've got the really thin leaves. So that I ordered it on eBay, €15 from France, and it's got already 2 or 3 new shoots coming up here nicely. These ones, really nice flowers. These I grew from seed. I think I got them from Thailand, and I grew it from seed, and it's really nice. The flowers, these flowers have been on there probably I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. That lasts forever. Which is nice. I don't think any of this bit was done in my last video, so I planted up this area, a couple of bits and bobs. And this is the area that was going to be it is going to be the play area. This will all be artificial grass in here, so I can have a little football pitch and maybe a slide or a trampoline. These are my flamboyant flame trees, newly planted. Had a bit of an accident with the middle one. I have sourced another one to go there, but it's not going to. There's no point in getting it till next summer, so that'll stay as it is. That might come up with some new shoots, but it won't look right now with the others being taller. The ficus, they went in as well. Got those to give this play area some shade, so they'll grow out nicely next year. Give plenty of shade. I've started getting a couple of trees in as well, some tall bits and bobs. So I really like these trees. I think they're called nickname is the silk tree, but they've got really nice flowers, pink flowers. Not yet, but hopefully next year. That palm tree is going to come down. It's not I think it is actually throwing up some green shoots in the middle, but I don't like it there now, so that'll probably come out. And then just some bits and bobs in there to get established for next year. What have we missed? So we've got this area all finished. A lot of palms that I planted at the wrong time of year, to be honest, before I researched things, that are now, as you can see, they've done their best to stay alive, and they are coming back. So hopefully by the end of next summer they'll look quite nice. Heliconias. I've got lots of different types of heliconias growing in the greenhouse, so that'll be interesting to see how they do in this climate. That's I've got 2 Dipsas pambanas there and 2 Roystonias. Smaller ones, but again, these ones were only planted this year, very small, and they've got the nice thick bottom there as well, so that one's doing okay. Again, planted way too early. Just, I think I planted them around March time, and it was just not a good time to plant them here. We've got strong cold winds and cold nights as well, so it took a bit of a beating, but they're just about recovering now. But these heliconias haven't been in long now, so you can see the older leaves they'd been inside, so they'd been grown inside, so the sun burnt them, but you can see new shoots coming through really healthy. And the olive trees have really shot up. And this border, like I say, I've not really been bothered about keeping it looking pretty or anything, because it's all getting established. So like the cannas I've not cut back when I should do and things like that, because this year it's just not really been about that. It's been more about trying to get things in and get things growing. So you can see my bananas are doing really well. This Archantha Phoenix was one of the first palms I put in as well with the other one. So it's done pretty well, but it's just started to get a bit of an infection of some sort from the middle. The leaves are coming out, but the tips are all brown. So I've sprayed it with some fungal spray and some insecticide and things. So hopefully, to be honest, the shaft went a little bit yellow, but it's looking quite green now. So fingers crossed that's sorted. I've got this palm that I've put in. Again, I do know what it is, but I can't remember the name, but it's really nice. And again, this has been growing really fast. It's obviously taken in the last sort of 6 weeks, and it's put out 2.5 new leaves already. So fingers crossed that'll do well here. Just bits and bobs over this side scattered around. Looks like I might lose this queen palm, which is a shame. The outside, again, something happened from the inside out, so it's the outside leaves, the older leaves look okay, and the middle ones just died back. So we'll see what that is. I have sprayed it, so it maybe might come back. My triangle palm is doing really nicely, growing well, looking healthy. Another queen palm with some cannas in the middle. These Bird of Paradise, but these are Mandela's Gold, 2 of them, so they'll be nice when they mature. Roystonia, again, died right back to nothing, so it is coming back slowly. So all the water feature now is all working, works really nicely. It's nice when it's on. I've not got it wide up to the mains yet, so if I ever put it on, it's got to be on an extension, but I need an electrician to come and sort the back out for when that's all done, so the plan is to get it all done at the same time, really. But I think that's about it, to be honest, apart from what I want to do at the back, but I'll save that for another episode, because hopefully throughout the winter I can do a couple more bits and bobs, and it's a bit easier to work outside as well. So the back should be, the back will take a long time, but it should see more progress than the front, really. But I'll take you and just show you what's going on in the greenhouse anyway, and then I think that'll probably be the end of the video. So it's actually quite full, to be honest. A lot bigger than the last one I had that actually blew away. Well, it blew over and broke. So I invested in this one, which is quite cheap, to be honest. 150 euros I think I paid for it. But I've got the shed next door, so that gives it a shelter from the winds. But there's quite a lot going on in here. And most of it is actually grown from seed, rhizome, or bits that have actually, like some of the cannas, some of the heliconias that I've just separated. Even though most of the cannas and even some of the heliconias I actually only got from rhizome this year, planted them, and they just grew like crazy, so I've managed to separate them. Like the Tropicanas, which I really like. Like this one, for instance, just took a chunk off, and it's got small ones growing from it now. They're all sort of supporting themselves. So by next year, I've got 4 or 5 of those from one plant this year. Got these hibiscus, really nice Chinese ones. A couple that I ordered online. Lots of ginger, hedychium plants, vanilla ice, and that one. Lots of colours, growing from seed and offcuts. Red bananas. Then I've got all these heliconias, which I think are big ones that I've ordered, say lobster claw ones. Some of the giant ones, these variegated ones. These 2 big ones are from Thailand, and they heliconia, but they look like the Canna Tropical, so they have a similar sort of leaf to that. So they're probably some of the nicest plants I've ever seen. So hopefully there's nothing coming out the shoots yet, so hopefully they do well, because they cost quite a bit of money as well. But like I say, all the other ones have shot up just from rhizome and are doing well, so hopefully they survive the winter and we get some nice plants for next year. Got plenty of little palms going off here and there. Mostly ordered online, some that I picked up from locally, but it's really hard to get different types locally. There's not many palm specialists, although it's a really good place for them to grow. They just don't seem to be bothered about having many types, like they have Washingtonias, date palms, and then you might find the odd Bismarck here and other bits and bobs, but nothing special really. But just have to search around a bit, I suppose, but I imagine it's the same everywhere really. A couple of different banana plants in there, and I've got onto the plumerias, so I've got got a couple of different types already planted. Then I found this rubra version here, which has got a really nice dark red flower, but then they're just about dying now, so the flowers are not looking amazing. But I'm growing a couple of different types, growing some from the seed there, all different types as well. Some bigger ones which are different types, again ordered online. This one I ordered, not sure how it's going to do. I'm a bit tempted to actually cut it off and see if it throws out. This one here, I actually got it and it had a nice head on like that, big leaves, and I snapped it by accident and was about to throw it away, and it's just thrown out some new heads, so that was quite lucky really. So maybe this one would do the same. Now I can see that it's been joined on to another one there at one stage, but this one again is like a variegated one with ready green leaves, which looks really nice when it's going. So I'm not quite sure, it's not focusing now, but it looks like they're doing okay, so we'll see. But apart from that, just a couple of palms, lots of the red flamboyant that I grew from seeds that I got in Tenerife. I ordered a load of seeds from an Australian guy, all different plants they grow over there, and there's lots of things coming through now. In this one there's lots of seeds that are growing in all of them really, so I should have some good stuff to put in the ground next year, because like you can see all this back area is well, the aim is to create like a really tropical garden. It is quite dry, so it is a challenge, but we managed to get water quite cheap, so that's not really a problem. But as you can see, there's plenty of space to put plants in, so it needs to fill up. It's a lot cheaper to grow them from seed and separate them, and then next year I have already all this to go in the ground, which has not cost me a fortune, and it does grow quick over here, so yeah, so it's definitely a bonus doing it like that if you have the time. It doesn't take much time, to be honest. I enjoy it, so it's a hobby, something I can do after work and at the weekends. But yeah, the front now, when the wall's done and the dog kennel is just about finished, so I'm really happy with everything. I managed to do all this in about a year, and most of the work I've done myself, so with help from people, but all the design and yeah, most of the labour work as well. Yeah. It will be nice when it's a bit more private. So when all the wall's done, the fencing, and probably will end up matching the gate to match it with the walling, so it's more private as well, and just growing conifers down that other side to give us a lot more privacy. But yeah, the majority of it's will be done this weekend, so hopefully I can upload a couple more videos and get some things moving over the winter, do some how-tos and just make it a bit more interesting, because like I say, I've really not had much time to to get any videos. In fact, the last few jobs that I've done have been one I've only been able to do maybe half a day at the weekend, and I've just had to get some help in, someone just doing basically the bits that I don't have time for, and then me just touching up when I can. So that's been the situation, but I can't complain. It's been a busy summer, and busy is good, I suppose. So yeah, but until the next time, take care everyone. Bye.